Mr. President, Venezuela stands here to address the world with the truth. For more than 5 centuries, the history of our land is described by one example, which is the goal of achieving a society in which equality, justice, and freedom prevail. Simon Bolivar was the first man to be born on American soil, and by saying and doing so, he gave a global meaning to the Latin identity. He believed that any struggle for a better society should lead to peace. Mr. President, the first ships to reach the shores of the Caribbean subjugated the indigenous peoples for 3 centuries. More than 90 million indigenous people and indigenous residents were exterminated. This is where the long struggle for colonization and rehabilitation began. 3 centuries later, the Liberation Army arrived, which included Africans, whites, Indians, Africans, and free people. They fought at the foot of equality, and they fought against Ayacucho and the mountains to liberate South America. Finally, Mr. President, we are a country that has learned to fight for its destiny. In the 20th century, we saw the beginning of the siege on our country and the coup against Cipriano Castro, which was for the benefit of oil companies in the United States. It was a state that wanted to settle its destiny, and a government that wanted to colonize the governments after our country. That is why Venezuela entered into contracts of poverty and oppression. In 1999, the people succeeded in getting out of this struggle. They started a project for an independent state, which was based on Bolivar's initial ideas and led by Hugo Chavez, the leader. This project proved that it was able to achieve the people's aspirations. Since the beginning, President Chavez has been leading a national oil policy, and he made a historic trip to stop the OPEC in order to achieve world oil security. Today, 26 years later, the public and the people of the world realize and learn the truth about what the U.S. government is doing. The U.S. government wants to overthrow Chavez, and the Chavez project was supported by the people and was elected again. The people supported the historic liberation project led by President Maduro. As we all know, the war has taken different forms. There is a criminal aggression against Venezuela in the past decade because the forces of evil want to control our destiny. There are crimes against my country in the last few years, such as the Tohak case and the assassination attempts using drones and economic warfare. These are the worst crimes committed against my country's oil sector. We have also seen the use of drones several times. Today we have a military threat that is illegal and immoral, and it is a violation of the United Nations Convention and the right of Venezuela as a sovereign state, and a violation of the laws of the United Nations. I would like to thank the Venezuelan people for their solidarity. The governments and people of the world have shown solidarity with us. I would like to mention CELAC, BRICS, and the non-discrimination movement. All these governments and groups have rejected these threats and supported the Venezuelan democracy and the right of Venezuela to achieve peace and development. In the first decades of the 21st century, we have seen the use of force and unacceptable justifications for the invasion of Iraq, the destruction of Libya, and the invasion of Afghanistan for 25 years. Recently, we have seen the criminal bombing of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Today, the target of this aggression is Venezuela, which is a peaceful country based on solidarity. Since Venezuela cannot be accused of possessing weapons of mass destruction, lies against us and accusations that no one believes in the United States or in the world are being used to justify a military threat worth $1 billion. Once again, we are grateful to the international public and the American public, governments and people of the world for raising their voices against this threat and against the United States' attempts to change the regime. We are not surprised, Mr. President. We all know that the American people have repeatedly voted for a government that promises peace and the end of wars. The American government has promised to resolve the internal problems of poverty and disease, as described by the United States and its society today. We have seen how the people of the United States have lost hope. For this reason, today you assure Venezuela that it is sincere to peace and that we will do our best. On the basis of the United Nations agreement, we reaffirm once again that the right to defend ourselves and peace in the Caribbean and around South America and Venezuela is a part of the multilingual world. As Simon Bolivar said in 1824, when he was a young man in the highlands of Junín, he had the same thoughts. Peru and the United States as a whole were attached to it, and even Europe was following it. And it is bewitching. In order to hope for a new world, Mr. President, the people of Venezuela always defend a balanced, equal, and free world from colonial emperors. Chavez was the new leader and the engine to start a world like this in our continents. He started this by establishing the Vetero Caribe and the United States, as well as the Caribbean and Latin American societies. The people of Venezuela love peace, and that is why they are always ready to defend it. We are not afraid of threats, lies, or defenses. The love for freedom runs in our veins. In 1818, when one of our leaders was threatened, he said, and he was addressing the Americans, that I would be punished for insulting you, but I will not do it. But I will not allow the government of Venezuela to take away our rights. I have seen many of our freedom fighters who have won over the emperors. This is the end of my speech. President Maduro has once again committed to building a world that respects international law without hegemony or emperors wanting wars, where the people of the South enjoy freedom. We salute the brave Palestinian people and call for the end of the Israeli occupation of Zion. We also reject the violation of the sovereignty and the security of the lands of the Islamic Republic of Iran. We are committed to Cuba, and we demand, as the world demands, to lift the siege on it. Once again, we acknowledge our firm commitment to the people of Nicaragua, who deserve to recognize their leader, and we call for the immediate lifting of the sanctions, without the conditions of the sanctions imposed on Belarus, the Republic of Korea, the People's Democratic Republic, Eritrea, Iran, Zimbabwe, and the Presidential Union. We support the Russian people in their struggle against the expansion of the Western world. We reaffirm our historic position, which is that we support the Argentine people in their struggle to restore the Malvinas Islands and to ensure that Argentina does not become a foreign military base that threatens peace in our continent. We stand on the shoulders of the great liberator, Simon Bolivar, who said that it is urgent, and it is not urgent for us to achieve our goals and to establish a free republic with sovereignty. We also reaffirm our support for the popular demands of the Sahrawi people, and we affirm our full commitment to a team of friends who defend the United Nations. We stand on the shoulders of the great liberator, Simon Bolivar, who said that it is urgent and to establish a free republic with sovereignty. We stand on the shoulders of the great liberator, Simon Bolivar, who said that it is urgent and to establish a free republic with sovereignty. We stand on the shoulders of the great liberator, Simon Bolivar, who said that it is urgent and to establish a free republic with sovereignty. We stand on the shoulders of the great liberator and to establish a free republic with sovereignty. We stand on the shoulders of the great liberator, Simon Bolivar, who said that it is urgent and to establish a free republic with sovereignty. We stand on the shoulders of the great liberator, Simon Bolivar, who said that it is urgent and to establish a free republic with sovereignty.